back. Tri-State Sports Guys.
Yeah.
With Gil Arrojo.
He's going to stick around.
Hey, Coach Allen's here on the side. I really wish he'd get in the film room, but, you know.
He should have it on, like, his phone.
I know they have a bye week, so we'll give him the day.
Yeah, right.
Just the day. Let's get it. We have to talk about the World Series.
Got it.
Your boy Ron Washington did everything he could.
People are all over Ron Washington, huh?
Yeah.
All over him. I was getting texts all over him because I'm defending him, so everybody thinks I'm an idiot because I'm defending him. I'm not saying he's a great coach, but I just think that everybody's so over the top against the guy.
Great series.
Yeah.
Whether Ron Washington had anything to do with it or not.
Right.
Game 6, I was lucky enough. Somehow I drank a lot of soda that night or something. Stayed up. Unbelievable game. Awful loss. And as a Met fan and a Raider fan, I've seen a lot of bad losses. That is as bad as it could ever get in the history of your life.
It really is.
Michael Young,
a team that's never won before.
Yeah, Michael Young is after the game is telling some reporter, this one's gonna sting for a little while. This one, you can win 7 consecutive World Series, and you'll never forget you were 1 strike away, 2 consecutive innings. He'll never forget that game.
You couldn't.
That's not going to sting for us. It's going to sting forever.
You couldn't make that in a movie. It would have been like, this is kind of a little over the top. They're not going to come back twice like that. It was literally unbelievable. I mean, Neftali Feliz hadn't blown a save since August 4th or 3rd.
Oh, they put it right on the bottom of the screen.
Oh, that was a kiss.
You knew that was a kiss. You got to call your bookie at that point.
Right there. Yeah, right.
He's never blown a save in postseason history. That's a lock for a
phones are blowing up. Yeah, and he blows it there, and then I mean. The whole series was as entertaining. And, we talked a little about the ratings last week. And
they were bad, right?
They were horrible.
You were telling me that.
They were horrible. One of the worst. And somebody on ESPN Radio was talking about it. It might have been even Buster Olney. He said, you know what? The bottom line is, who cares? If you're a baseball fan, you love it. And I agree. Because it's not like the people that were watching this World Series were the baseball fans. So you could have an intelligent conversation. When the Yankees play in the World Series, you get every broad, whoever's owned a Yankees shirt that's on there, and they're writing on their Facebook wall like they have any idea what the hell they're talking about. The people that you have a conversation about this World Series, they knew about baseball, they followed it, they could speak intelligently, and it was that kind of made it more enjoyable, to be honest.
I agree. So let's talk baseball since you want to.
Yeah.
Let's talk Ron Washington for a little while.
I'd love to talk about Ron Washington.
Now, I'm not going to blame everything on him.
Mm-hmm.
Victor Cruz, first of all, despite how much of an idiot Ron Washington is, Victor Cruz he's already playing deep in no doubles defense. No doubles means no doubles. Nothing can get over your head unless it's out of the ballpark.
And he was playing so deep. The idea that, Bill Buckner is vilified for letting a ball go between his legs on a freak play, but the game was already tied. This was a play that 99% of Major League outfielders catch in their sleep.
And he was deep already.
He sprinted for about 3 steps, and then he drifted. And he drifted like the first time you go out and shag fly balls when you're a little leaguer. They tell you don't drift. Sprint to a spot. And especially when you got a fence behind you, sprint to the fence. That's like just baseball 101. As an outfielder, it's baseball 101.
Now,
he's not going to get the kind of... I didn't hear the big bashing of
you know
him,
what?
And they should have. It was horrible.
I'm going to tell you what. I saw it, and I was annoyed, and I told you right away.
You did.
And I was annoyed. But I gave him a little pass in the sense that, like, you were like, no. In the sense, this is what you're gonna stay with me here.
And I'm a big defender of everybody.
Yeah, in the sense that, like, you said, well, some people just don't like the wall. So I'm like, well, maybe he's one of those guys. He's just scared of the wall. Doesn't make it right, but he's one of those guys. The next day, somebody hits a home run to right field that's 30 feet into the stands. And he scales the wall.
His fat
he
guts
runs
hanging
into
over
the wall
fence.
like nothing was going to come between him and this ball.
Oh yeah, that's right. He all of a sudden he's Jimmy Edmonds over there.
And I'm thinking to myself, now you decide to go after it. You should have run right through that wall and died if you needed to.
That right there, you know what that showed you?
He's a fraud.
No, I think he knew how bad that play was, and afterwards it was kind of downplayed. Oh, the ball just kept carrying. I thought I had it. Blah blah blah. And he did not get killed nearly as much as he should have gotten killed. He is the GOAT of this series. You can say whatever you want about Ron Washington. The GOAT of the series is him. He was playing deep. How do you let a ball go over your head that doesn't go over the fence?
He's the
GOAT.
GOAT.
Then he got a glove on it.
I totally agree. He's the GOAT. Because now that he could have just played it off the wall, and the guy from first wouldn't have scored.
If he had played it off the wall, though, he should have just thrown the ball in, took his cap off, and gone right into the...
No doubt. Now, this is where I blame Ron Washington. I understand that in these situations, everything's unraveling. That's where a good coach has to help you. Ron Washington, he gets another 2-run lead because Jesus told Josh Hamilton he was hitting a home run, apparently.
Right.
That's what he said.
Right.
He hits a 2-run.
Jesus picks his spots to come in.
He didn't want him to win the game. He wanted a home run.
Who said that?
Josh Hamilton
said that Jesus spoke to him in the on-deck circle.
But then Jesus couldn't stay because he had to go and help Tim Tebow prepare
He did.
to throw for 43 yards.
He did. He had a busy couple days, Jesus.
But so he has a 2-run lead, and then he takes out his closer, who's thrown 20 pitches, and he brings in Darren Oliver. Now, you're a Met fan. I'm a Met fan. I was a Met fan when Darren Oliver said he was retiring 6 years ago. He is not the guy I'm bringing in to close out a World Series with that going. And what did he do? Shockingly, he gave up 2 consecutive hits.
2 hits to 2 not great
to 2
hitters.
zeros.
Right. I mean, he came in. He has been very good against lefties all year. Now that is a move that I cannot defend Ron Washington on. I agree that was a bad move. I understand his logic behind it, but I don't think it was the right logic. I think a good manager goes to his closer and said, you know what, you just blew your first save. And just logically says, my guy just blew his first save since August. Is he going to blow another save
Exactly.
15 minutes later? So I agree with you there. Now, I don't know the stats behind how many times
I don't either.
He's pitched 2 innings. I don't know all those things. And a lot of times the rule of thumb typically is, though, if a guy blows a save, you do not bring him out. That is the
But this is not a typical
exactly.
situation.
We're talking about the World Series, and you got Carpenter waiting for Game 7. We had talked about it last week, and I said I think this is a must-win game, and they should play it as a must-win game. And you said no, but I kind of understand.
Well, I said that I thought you were probably right, but I didn't think they would. Because that's just, no manager ever wants to be in a situation where he kind of overplays his hand.
Right.
But he had at some point, you have to decide, all right, I'm going to try and win the game. Maybe you don't decide that in the second inning when you don't make crazy moves. You're up 2 runs in the 10th inning of the game to clinch it. At that point, you know what? I'm going for the win.
I'm going for a guy who's one of the best closers in the league. That's why closers get paid the kind of money they get paid, and that's why they're so hard to find. Because, I mean, to be honest, Neftali Feliz is a top 5 closer in the league because there's not that many good ones, and he's a good one.
And then they tie it. They get out of it. They move on, and his pitcher comes up with 2 outs and a guy on first base. And now, according to you and according to him, he's not playing for the win here. And he pinch hits for his pitcher when the only guy left in his entire bullpen is the guy who hasn't pitched in 4 months because he's awful.
Yeah, I thought that was another.
He pinch hits for your boy Herman, who has 3 at-bats in 2 months and has 0 hits.
Right, and if you're going to pinch it in that spot with 2 outs and a guy in first, you need a guy that can drive the ball.
Exactly.
The only reason you're not going to piece together 2 hits there, I mean, chances are you're going to play the odds. You're going to say if you had a guy on the bench who was a bopper, say Napoli wasn't in the game and he was on the bench. I do. Then you take a shot at it. But when you have a slap hitting guy like Herman, then you don't do it.
So then they bring in the pitcher. He throws 6 pitches, and then my boy David Freese, my boy.
He has been your boy. I'm not going to lie about it. We'll talk about Freese later on.
And he was unbelievable. And all the credit in the world to the Cardinals. Tony La Russa screwed up with that whole bullpen situation, bullpen phone.
All forgotten.
But like I said, at the end of the day, Pujols did just enough. The only non-home run that Pujols hit was that leadoff, that 1-out double in the 9th inning.
Mm-hmm.
That started the whole thing.
Tone, how much of the World Series did you watch? As a guy who's not...
Tony watched more. I know he watched them because he texted me, so don't lie.
Yeah, no.
No, I mean, as a guy who's not a huge baseball fan, but a sports fan.
I watched probably 3 of the games. And I liked it. I mean,
that's pretty good.
Each one was good.
That's pretty good for a guy who doesn't care.
Yeah.
Who wants to watch Harry Potter to watch 3 of those games?
Yeah. He's got plenty of other things
to
draw his attention.
That's a significant amount of games.
He's got September sweeps going on with all the different sitcoms.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I'm right in there.
Yeah. He's right in there.
Now, Tony La Russa already retired. And then he claims that he did it in July. No shot. Good move by him to retire.
100%.
It's only, it can't get any better than that.
100%. We'll get into Tony La Russa's retirement a little bit later on. But I think it all in all, it was a fantastic playoff run. You know, as a baseball fan, you saw a lot of great series, a great World Series, and you know, I think, like I said earlier, you know, I got caught up in the ratings, and you say, well, what could baseball do to make things better? And I don't really want to see them do anything to make things better. The one thing I have to ask you about the playoff run, it's a little off topic from the World Series. Do you want them to go first round to a 7-game series? Explain to me why it's not a 7-game series. I mean, it would have changed, though. I don't think that the Phillies would have lost a 7-game series. I don't know that the Yankees would have lost.
I think the reason is they have this idea that they don't want November baseball. And now you're going to say they should start it earlier. I don't know what the reason is that they don't.
The fact that that's what, you know, Francesa, that's always harping on. They don't want the season run on too long. We're talking about 2 games. We're not talking about any more travel days because they're already traveling the same amount of times. We're talking about 2 games. You can't find one off day that you can cut out for every team sometime in the season as a schedule maker, and then add the season go on 1 extra day. I mean, you're talking about the most important. These teams fight all season long to get into the playoffs, and then you're cutting that first round down to 5 games, which makes it a crapshoot. Any loss is that much bigger, and you're saying because you don't want to extend the season 2 games?
Well,
you have this season that lasts 6 months.
I think what's even more...
That's so stupid.
I don't disagree with you. What's more, in my mind, annoying is that if I'm the number 1 seed, if I'm the Phillies in this situation...
No, you have no motivation.
Make the Cardinals do something else besides just have to beat me in a best-of-5 series.
Right.
Because once you win one of those games that you're not supposed to win, now the Cardinals have their back to the wall. So maybe make them play... I know they're going to try and play this 1-game playoff situation or whatever it is.
And I don't like that. If they're going to do that, I would much rather have them go 7 games in the first series. Now, I have another question for you, and you might know the answer, and it might be a simple answer, and I might look stupid. What is the purpose behind the idea that the wild card team can't play in the first round a team in their division? Why isn't you have the best record? You should play the wild card team. Why didn't the Yankees play? I mean, it came about at some point. I'm sure.
I think that's an advantage to.
I was wondering why.
I think the thought is that it's an advantage to the number 1 seed because that number 1 seed. I'm sorry. Yeah, the team in the playoffs shouldn't. The team in the division shouldn't have to play because there's already. They play each other more than they play any other team. So it's almost like, you know what? Make that wild card team go play somebody else. I don't know that it's right or wrong.
It just makes no sense. Because, I mean, everybody would have wanted to see the Yankees play this Rays, wouldn't you? As a baseball fan.
You want to talk about making no sense. Explain to me why the All-Star game decides that the Cardinals, who are, at all the teams, the lowest seed, they get home field advantage over the Rangers. And it was a big deal because the Rangers are awesome at home. They don't need to plan ahead. It's not the Super Bowl. They don't need to plan so far ahead and where the city's going to be.
Right.
You don't know, in a regular situation, you don't know who's getting home field advantage till the day before the
exactly.
Now,
here's another. My whole thing is, my way I would do it, it would be the league that has the most wins in interleague play gets home field advantage. So that if you won that league, it was a harder thing to do.
But why can't you just...
Why is that a bad thing? I understand why you're saying best record, but because it might be harder to get the best record in the American League. Like, so, for the Phillies have the best record in baseball.
That's what you're saying.
But it's easier for them because they're playing the National League. The National League is clearly not as good of a league as the American League. So why couldn't you do that? And somebody brought this up on ESPN Radio, and Buster Olney said it had to do with accommodations. They couldn't wait that long.
I don't believe that.
Are you kidding me? Is it that hard to find a hotel room in St. Louis, Missouri?
Well, it doesn't make sense.
That you can't put a team up? That makes no sense.
This is why it doesn't make sense, because if that were true, then what they're saying is once the All-Star game ends and they say, oh, the National League is the home field, do you really believe that every National League team, they then reserve hotel rooms in their cities?
Right,
They don't.
yeah, I'm sure. Pittsburgh's got rooms blocked out.
They still have to wait
just
to
in
see,
case.
They still have to wait to see what teams are in the playoffs.
Now, wouldn't that make the most logical sense? Now, you don't want to say the best record because of the point I just made. You say, well, look, the American League beat up on the National League. The American League's a harder league. So the reward for having having won the American League is that you get home field advantage.
Well, that's why my new goal in life after I retire,
commissioner.
I don't want to be commissioner. I want to just own a team. I got to get to a team.
Okay.
And then I think that way I can work myself to commissioner. I'm not going to try and be a commissioner.
I don't see anything holding you back.
Well, first I have to do the show first.
Well, we got this show.
Yeah.
It's going to be a springboard. Look, you asked me a few months ago. I didn't think I'd ever talk to Nick Mason on the phone. I did that.
Yeah.
We got baby steps.
I never thought I'd talk to Gil Arroyo.
Look, we got steps. Baby steps, bro.
Yeah.
I'd say...
Because somebody has to talk to these guys. We don't need to decide home field advantage. You know what the All-Star game should be? Just an All-Star game.
You know what a shame is? It's a shame that this whole McCourt divorce didn't happen 5 years from now. Because 5 years from now, you'd be in position to buy the LA Dodgers.
I'm a little short right now.
You're just short. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a little short.
So, like, if it had happened and, like...
I got baby.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Had you known that divorce was going through, maybe you would have said, sweetie, we got to wait a couple years.
Held off.
I got my eye on a team out in LA.
But you know how... I mean, I've got to tell you, diapers... These days are crazy.
Diapers with the creams.
Yep.
And
A&D ointments. Yep. Totally agree.
Baby Einstein.
My kid doesn't read. I can't wait to come back. We have so much to go through.
We got to say what coming up.
Gil, you've never seen anything like it. We'll be back with the Tri-State Sports Guys.